Ooh, got you to click on the video. Looks like you fell for it.
Fell for it, didn't you, fool? Thundercross split attack!
No, guys, for real though, today we are going to get into some knife maintenance, but man, I feel like every time I get in front of this damn camera, I have something negative to say, and it's not where I want to be. It's been a hard week, man. It's been a hard week. It's been I don't know, aside from I've been working at Primo for a while now. Primo's been one of the high points for me. I've really enjoyed working there and the team there. But aside from that, it's like a weirdly, not hard, but just a lot of stuff this year, man. I know y'all don't want to hear the Enzo pouting hour, but yeah, this is going to be a weird video, guys. The reason it is, we're gonna get into working on some knives. That's what we're gonna do. But this is almost as much therapy for me than it is anything else. It's going to be kind of a longer video. It's going to be rambly, just because I got to talk through some stuff. The first of which is the reason. Well, there's always a reason why I'm behind on videos. That's nothing new. But we were on vacation, and about 3 days into the trip, my dad and I went mountain biking, which is something we do together as much as we can. And he was leading, which is usually I try to lead, being the younger of the two of us, and I think I can react a little bit faster to obstacles. And if there's something crazy in the path, I'll shout it out and let him know behind me. I didn't lead this time because we were on an unfamiliar trail, and he had a route on his phone that was like, a live route, so he could see exactly where we were going. So he was, he was leading. And long story short, he went over a very difficult obstacle that should not have been on the trail we were on. We were riding a blue trail, and it was definitely a black diamond feature. And he broke his neck in three different vertebrae that were fractured. It's a miracle. I say this with all seriousness. I truly believe it is by the grace of God that he's not paralyzed or dead. And it's just been, it's been a rough week, man. He's doing good, so let me get all that out of the way. He basically fractured his C1, which, if you're familiar with Christopher Reeves, that was he fractured his C1, and it led to his complete paralysis below the neck. So my dad fractured his C1, his C2, and I believe his T1, if I'm remembering that correctly, vertebrae. And after the fall, he clearly had been concussed because he was having double vision. And we were trying to evaluate, where he was at, because he could move everything. And he basically said, "Hey, I think you need to get me to an ER." So fortunately, we're not far into the woods, and we hiked our way out. And he didn't even mention his neck hurting until we got in the car. And I don't know. I just assumed he'd been concussed. I didn't think definitely didn't occur to me that he could have broken his neck. And then by the time we get to the ER, he can't move his neck at all. And so I'm growing more and more concerned. I'm not going to get into this whole story beat by beat, just because I know nobody needs to hear it, and I don't want to relive it. But long story short, he's fine, and he's got a road to recovery here, but he's okay. Thank God. There's few people in this world that I call my best friend, and that's my son and my daughter. I call them my best friends. Wolfman Walsh, he's my best friend. He's, in a lot of ways, he's just the brother I'd never had. And my dad is absolutely my best friend. And it was weird. It was he and I have always been really active together. We've always done a lot together: scuba diving, mountain biking, hiking, camping. All that stuff. All those outdoor activities. And yeah, having him come, I think it's fair to say, within inches of losing, if not his mobility entirely, losing his life. was, yeah, scary. It was a lot, and yeah, I just thank God, you know, that he's okay. So anyway, sorry to get into all that. Yeah, it's just something that has, obviously family is the most important thing in the world. It's way more important than a freaking YouTube channel. So, you know, needless to say, I haven't been working on anything since that happened. This is the first video I've sat down to make since then. And I kind of, like I said, kind of want to do something discussion-y and rambly and work on some knives at the same time. So, yes, that's where I'm at. So I apologize if my headspace is a little bit weird in this video. It's just been a lot to work through, and yeah, just want to reiterate, you know, whatever your faith is or anything, I you know, it's nothing to me. I don't, you know, I'm not a very outward Christian, if that makes any sense. I'm very private about it. But yeah, I praise the Lord that he is okay, because I really firmly believe that, I don't know, that something kind of stepped in and prevented that from being a much worse situation. So anyway, guys, let's get into it. Let me tell y'all what I carry today. First up, the reason I'm carrying this, it is the ProTech Strider S&G. This is a very early one. This is the G9 edition for the Gathering, and I did some mod work to it. I Duracoated the scales. They're in I want to say Black Hawk tan. I think that's what it is. I just love the look of it. It's got that Desert Warrior kind of vibe going on. 154 cm DLC coated blade. Of course, it's a ProTech, so the quality is top notch. Love ProTech. The reason I'm carrying this is because Smoky Mountain Knife Works currently has a PT Plus in Magna Cut and a beautiful, just simple gray aluminum handle, and I really want to check it out because I feel like the price is very fair. Yeah, I don't know, it's in my head. So I felt like carrying this guy today. Let's see, my slip today was the Boker. This is actually a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive. I don't think they have any more of these. This is the Boker Club Knife in 01 steel, really cool steel. Nice black stone wash there. And Matrix micarta, what is it, Matrix? Matrix canvas micarta, something like that, whatever. Burlap, I don't know. And a copper integral frame. It's really cool, and I really like it. I really enjoy this knife. Very light, but very nice pull. It's sweet. Double, what am I trying to say? Half stop. It has a half stop. I warned you guys. I warned you. Okay, and lastly, the fixed blade for today in my this little sheath here that was not intended for this blade, but my friend Victor made it. Nord Leather. Nord.actual on Instagram. Awesome dude. Please give him a follow. He's great. He's great. So he made this, and I found out that it just perfectly slides over the blade of this Bark River Bravo Century. It's one of my favorite little EDC fixed blades. I love it. And it's not welted, but it's just the way the blade contacts. I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about it not being welted, because it can't make contact with any of the stitches. It's just kind of running into the leather. So we're gonna see how this does, but I really like how simple and small it is, and that thing is not coming out easy. Like, you could almost net carry it and it's not coming out. It's so tight. But I don't carry it that way. I carry it in a zip pocket on the side of my pants, just vertical like this, so I don't have to worry about that anyway. But yeah, it's an awesome knife. I hadn't carried it in a long time, and I was like, man, God, how much I love this little knife. It's just a great knife. CPM 154 and the blade steel there. Sorry if I rubbed the mic there, by the way. So the knives we're going to be working on, I do need to work on this ProTech a little bit. It's a little fuzzy in the action, if that makes sense. That doesn't make sense. It feels like something's getting kind of stuck in there. This is a Spyderco Sage 1 in Maximet. I want to see if I can get out some of the patina that's happening with it, because it's not attractive. It's kind of spotty and ugly, which we'll see if I can do that or not. Boy, this one needs some work. This is the main reason for this video. Oh God, it sounds terrible when I open it. Stretch 2 in K390. I took this on vacation with me. We were at the beach in the salt air, and it's just, this thing is rusting up, man. So we're gonna see what we can do here. I'll open it again by the mic so y'all can hear that. Oh God, just that grit, man. So we're gonna see what we can do about it, clean it up, oil it up. I've never taken that knife apart, so that'll be interesting. And very simple little thing on this Kaiser Escort. The last video I made, I talked about how I couldn't get the side-to-side play out. I figured out why, and it's because it has a bushing style pivot. And now that I know that, yeah, this knife has gone way up on my list of knives that I'm carrying a lot. I love this knife, my gosh. So we're gonna just Loctite a little bit. That's all we're doing on this, because this thing is already awesome from Kaiser. So let's go to tabletop. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to subscribe and if you like what we're doing. Again, this is kind of rambly, and I appreciate you hanging with me while I just kind of talk my way through just all the jumbled mess of my mind right now. Yeah, so let's go to tabletop and let's work on some knives. Let's do it. All right, y'all, let's get into it with this Spyderco Stretch 2 here. Really cool knife. Got this one, let's see. It's like a T8 on the pivot, which is what I suspected. I think my wife got this one for me as a Christmas gift a while back. And it's a nice knife. The reason I wanted it was because Cedric Ganeda Gear and Outdoors, my favorite YouTube channel, he has always been singing the praises of this knife, and it's easy to see why. Although he is a little bit more accepting of FRN than I am, I'm kind of at my stage of life where I've come to admit that I don't like FRN. I'm not crazy about it. You know what? It's very utilitarian. It's very grippy, and it does its job. It's very ergonomic, but it's just I don't like the plastic feeling. I just don't like it. And I find that Cold Steel does a little bit better, I think, with their Grivex that they use on like Formax Scouts and stuff. And I've modded that before. I've taken the Dremel to it and done some some custom work. And I don't know, I like it more. T6, by the way, on the body screws. T8 on the pivot, T6, oh God, you hear that grit? T8 on the pivot, T6 on the body screws. And, ooh, Lord, that does not feel good. Getting a little worried. Getting a little bit worried here. Do I need to take do I need to take the pocket clip out? Maybe I do. Let's go ahead and undo that. The pocket clip is a Lynch Northwest deep carry clip. Titanium. I love these. This is intended for to be a left-hand clip, but I just like the way that it looks. I like the form factor of it, so I carry it on the right side, and I just think it looks cool. Let's see if I can get this out of there. I bought it on a whim, thinking like, man, this may or may not work how I think it will, but it has. I'm glad it did. Love that clip. I'm a big Lynch Northwest fan. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, that's coming right out. Okay, liners look all right. That's good. Ooh, goodness. Okay. We're gonna see how that pivot's doing. Let's get this here. Move this driver out of the way. Oh boy. Come on now. Yeah, I find that when I'm reaching points of burnout, which I've kind of been at for a minute in the knife world at least, Blade Show was awesome. Really enjoyed Blade Show, and I'm really stoked on everything I picked up there. Particularly the limited edition 8010 tie in 3V. I love that thing. But aside from Blade, the knife world has really been, and aside from my job, which is like, I'm very grateful that it's involved in knives, and I get to talk about knives and think about knives all day. Oh my good God. Look at that. Good grief. Okay, well, we're gonna fix this. Let me get back to my point that I was trying to make. I've been experiencing a lot of knife burnout, and a lot of it, and this is not gonna be a popular take, I don't think. Oh shoot. Oh, the spring just popped out. All right, we can fix that. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. No worries. Yeah, okay. That's how those Spidey ones do. A lot of it has to do with the fact. Oh, I do need to get that washer out. Okay, let's push this through. crates. God, these freaking Spyderco backlocks. I haven't worked on one of these. Oh, good. Oh, good. Haven't worked on one of these in a long time. You go back in there. I will say, though, everything is D-shaped, so that's nice. Butterfingers. Anyways, God, let's see if I can get back to the thought at hand. I've been experiencing a lot of burnout. I'm just tired of the way the knife industry is right now. Let's leave that like that. Hopefully it won't fall out again. Yeah, it's just it's not been fun, and I think, at least to me, there's so many companies making just so many mediocre knives. Obviously, I'm not going to like point fingers at anybody because that would be kind of rude. But it's just, I don't know. So to get rid of all this crap, we're going to make a putty, or actually more like a paste of baking soda and water. Yeah, that should be enough. I'm making a mess. Let me get a towel. Here we are. Okay. All right. Pour a little bit of water in there. And I'm going to stir that up. A little too much water. Let's add some more baking soda. This is my favorite way to get rid of rust and you know, patina that I don't want. You know what, I need to be using something else for this. My wife's gonna kill me that I'm using up all the baking soda, but you know what? She doesn't watch these videos anyway, so no harm, no foul, right? Anyway, so back at the topic at hand. I warned you guys that this is gonna be rambly. Yeah, so I've just been having a lot of burnout. I think a lot of that is to do with the state of the knife industry, and the unpopular opinion that I was mentioning earlier is that I feel like a lot of people who shouldn't be designing things have been designing knives lately, because there's so many Chinese OEMs that are totally fine with taking their mediocre designs and printing knives, because you know they know knives make money. And Pete from Sage Grenada talked about this a little bit in his video about, I think it was his video about the lion steel and Magna Cut, and not specifically with that knife. He really liked that knife, but I think he mentioned it like during the video, just how it's like things are weird right now, and there's no sign of them changing really. I think it's just gonna kind of be this way. Yeah, and I'm just tired of it. Like, I'm tired of every random dude on Instagram thinking that he should design a knife, because it's like, man, have you ever tried to make one? No? Well, why do you think you should design one? And again, I don't want to come across as like, well, I am. Fuck it. It's okay. By the way, guys, sorry. I'm going to be cursing in this video just because it's where my head's at right now, and when I get stressed, it's one of my sins, man. I revert to this. So apologies for anybody that doesn't want to hear that. I'm sorry, and I really mean that. I don't like to curse, but I'm just probably going to. You know, unintentionally. But, you know, yeah, I'm really tired of this, like, hey, you know, make a knife, or design and come up with a design and send it in, and one of 1,000 Chinese OEMs will be happy to make it for you. I don't know. I've seen too much, like, uninteresting stuff lately, or stuff that looks like, so yeah, by the way, at this point, all I'm doing, sorry if the camera's shaking, I'm taking this paste that I made and just rubbing it onto the areas that have rust or just too much patina. And it's taken it off very nicely, actually. This has been my go-to method for a long time. A lot of the time I'll use this on old slip joints and stuff. It does a great job, and I find that it works best with a microfiber cloth. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. There's just, I feel like 7 to 8 years ago was like this really nice time in the knife world where the Chinese companies were coming in, and there's nothing against the Chinese companies either. I'm a huge Kaiser fan. I'm a huge We Knife fan. I love those companies. And they were just coming in. They had some unique stuff, and they were coming in with some cool ideas. Meanwhile, American makers, like big American makers like Spyderco and Benchmade, they were still giving their all, and trying to create awesome, unique designs and work with, unique designers. And it was just a good time. Now things that now are cool too, though, because thanks to companies like Civivi, obviously that's we. They have, excellent functional knives available at the most affordable, entry point that probably has ever been. That's great. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I want to see more I think Nick Shabazz put it this way, where he said, there's too many designs out there that are based simply off the fact, I can design a knife and make money. They're not coming from, a place of uniqueness or passion, I don't know. So yeah, I guess that's just kind of where I'm at with the knife world, and I'm kind of burned out on it, and I miss the days when I felt like Spyderco, and in particular Benchmade, were, I don't know, man, just as large production companies, they were still giving it their all. I feel like Spyderco lately, they do some cool stuff still, like the stovepipe I felt like was really cool, but the price point's ridiculous. I just feel like lately they've been, kind of resting on their sprint runs, and, it's been that way for a bit, but I don't know. I just would love to see Spyderco come out with something really cool and exciting again, and not, the PM2 and MagnaCut. MagnaCut's great, but, well, actually, I don't know. I've never had MagnaCut, so what the heck do I know? MagnaCut seems to be great from everything I've heard. I've heard nothing negative about that steel. And that's, again, I kind of want to get that, excuse me, I want to get that Strider ProTech in that from SMKW. I want to get it in that steel pretty bad. Anyway, guys, this is cleaning up nicely, so I'm very pleased about that. I'm going to need to rinse all these parts off with water before I reassemble it, but that's fine. No worries there. Let's get this, we're going to go ahead and get this kind of taken apart over here. Well, not taken apart, but just, actually, let's leave that in there. That doesn't want to leave, and we're not going to make it leave. Let's get this right here, though, because we do have quite a bit of crud on this liner. So, yeah, sorry, guys, that I'm airing out my grievances so much. How are y'all doing? I hope y'all are well. I hope things are good for you, and I appreciate y'all being here with me and listening to this balderdash, for lack of a better word. Oh yeah, that came right off. No worries, man. Okay, I'm feeling better. I was getting a little concerned when I was down at the beach and I'd opened this knife and it was just nothing but grit and junk. I was like, good God, have I messed up my K390 stretch? Please tell me no, because I have ideas for modding this knife. And that's another thing, though, talking about designers who shouldn't be designing. Very often I start thinking about modding a knife and I'm like, well, why should I? Because, if I own a knife, obviously I don't feel like it's a mediocre. I'm only going to own a knife if I think it's a good design. So then part of me always has this feeling of why am I doing this? Because the design's already good. And I can tell you why. I like making things my own, which a lot of people can relate to. But this stretch too, I'm like, I've got cool ideas to mod it. And I'm like, well, I kind of start to think critically about that. I'm like, well, what is it? You're going to take a Dremel to the handle scales and make it look like a bear got a hold of it? Yeah, I guess that's what I was thinking. Well, why do you need to do that, man? you've already got a few knives that look like that. Well, I don't know. I want to make it my own.
Nobody likes you. Not listening. Not listening.
I don't know. We'll see. More I think about it, I'm probably going to leave this knife alone because it's a good knife. And it's good to go. Okay, let's get these parts washed off. I will be right back with clean Stretch 2 parts. Okay, back to it. Sorry. This is probably the messiest workspace I've ever had in the history of this channel. This is something. Let me brush some of this crud out of the way. This is ridiculous. Okay, so back to it. Let's clean off those washers. But to complete a thought that I had earlier, you know, I just can't make myself. Well, maybe I can. Maybe I can learn to appreciate Spyderco's FRM. You know, a lot of people appreciate it. Pete from Cedric and Ada, he's a big fan. He loves it. You know, it's durable and it's lightweight. You know, and I'll give all that. It is. It's just the feeling in hand. I just don't like it, and I'd rather have G10. I would honestly just rather have good old G10, which you can still get plenty of Spideys in G10. But the Stretch 2, however, if you can find that one in G10, it is not cheap. It's not cheap. So I guess that's the thing. If somebody makes some aftermarket G10 scales for this thing, I would be all over it, man. And technically, as my friend Cameron, whom I work with, is constantly reminding me, he's like, "Oh, we can get on the CNC and make, you know, whatever scales you want, man." And it's like, "Oh no, I know we can do that." It's not a question of whether or not we can do it. It's the question of how much time I have. And Cameron can relate. He's a father of 2. I'm a father of 2. You know, there's no time really for passion projects when you're trying to take care of a family. You know, it's just not there. Granted, I do this kind of stuff at home because I have the availability to do it after everybody's in bed. But yeah, so maybe one of these days I can figure out the ifs, nans, and the buts and the timing. But right now, unfortunately, I can't. So we're sticking with the factory scales, unless any of y'all have suggestions of somebody that makes decent scales for the aftermarket scales. What am I doing? Let's put the pivot in. So nope, that's not the pivot. That's the rocker pin. Here's the pivot. The pivot is D-shaped. Thank you, Spyderco. This is an easy knife to work on. No problems. No problems. Get some of that oil on there. I got it in all the wrong places. I'm not precise with oil. I just slap it on, you know. I don't worry about it that much. Okay, let's get the rocker pin in. That pivot's going to hold in by itself just fine. Come here. Jeez, come on. All right, let's go. Yeah, so not doing a full takedown of anything today. Just getting it as far as we need to get it so I can put things back together. All right, that's gotta go. Come on. There we go. Okay, so let's press that down. Get the blade back in place, and that's falling out. Cool. Please get back on. What the heck is happening? Please go on. Thank you. All right, push that in with the blade. Come on. There we go. Good grief. And okay, that's good. Appreciate that. All right, let's push everything back together because these are wanting to come out, these spacers. And let's see if I can redo this. No, I can't, so let's take the blade out. Please, this is fun. All right. All right, we got that where we want it. Keep these daggum spacers in place. Rocker pins wanting to come out, so let's push that. Okay, rocker pins up. As soon as I push down on that lock bar, that back spacer is going to want to come out. Alright, so let's try to get the blade back in. Blade's in. Everything's pushed together. Alright, thank you. Yeah, see, it's trying to push its way out right now. Oh, this is fun. This is good. Oh my god, the freaking spring's trying to come out. My lord. Huh. What is the best way to combat this? Yeah, so that's the big issue here, is that this plastic backspacer just doesn't want to accept the tension of the lock bar. I'm going to need to figure that out. EDC Nord told me not to take apart an Endura or a Delica ever, and I think probably it's for these same reasons. Let's see here. Let's take that tension off. Press that down. Okay, can you please get in there? Just, what are you doing? All right, there we go. That's back in place. Let's try this again. Everything's in place. I'm going to use my index finger this time, see if that helps. Okay, that's in place. That's holding. Lock bar's wanting to budge, but we got it. Everything seems to be in place. Okay, let's get some oil. This better be nice and smooth after all this work. There we go. I'm gonna wipe that off. I got a little bit of baking soda paste on there. Okay, that should be fine. There we go. Okay, let's get this liner on. Stay together. No, don't push out. My God. Let's take tension off the bar. Okay. Okay. All right, that's all seems to be wanting to come together, well, for a second. All right, why aren't you... What are you doing back here? Okay, it's... Oh my lord, yeah, it's sandwiching apart again. We may just have to use the screws and everything to just push it together, which is not ideal. Not ideal. Let me do this. Did that do anything? Nope, that didn't do a damn thing. That just made things worse. All right, what did I just lose? I lost the rocker pin. All right, let's figure this out. Okay. Okay. And pop that on. Let's just leave the blade on, I guess. Put the rocker pin back in. Probably not a good idea to let that blade swing into my thumb, but you know, we're here. Now let's take the blade off. Yeah, I can see why EDC Nord was getting frustrated. I keep saying EDC Nord, he goes by Nord Actual now. But I can see why he was getting frustrated, because this is frustrating. Alright. There we go. Sometimes though, you gotta work on a knife, man. It's like, what do you do? Everything's holding together right now. As soon as I let go, though, that's when we're going to have problems. I feel like the first thing I should do is get the butt end down here, so it's holding down because the lock bar is not going anywhere. The spring's wanting to jerk out. I wonder if I'm better off taking tension off or closing it. Let's try that. Is it better for the knife if it's closed? No, it's still wanting to sandwich out. Ah, you son of a gun. Come on. Alright guys, we're just going to try to force this thing. I'm getting angry. The power of screws compel you. Alright, come on. Alright, this is how we're going to do it. It's not ideal, but I think it'll work. Okay, so first up, body screws. Let's see. It's our pivot. Are these 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, okay, so these are all body screws. So we're going to hope that the screws will guide everything into place. I prefer the knife to, go together without having to rely on, the screws doing the work. But in this case, I don't know what else to do. Now with full steel liners, though, with the tension of the screws, I would imagine that they'll push that spring and backspacer where they need to be. Should have started at the back. Let's do that now, actually. Okay. And these driver bits aren't magnetic, so they're going to fall out. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, now you don't have a choice in the matter now. No, you don't. There we go. Okay. Yep, there it goes. All right, feeling better now. Feeling better. Next one up. Okay, come on. Actually, now I think we can do this like from a little bit more of a accessible angle, because having that screw in the back. Yeah, that's all we had to do was screw this thing in. Come on, man. You were getting too antsy. It's not gonna go to Japanese-made Spydercos aren't gonna go together like like a fine titanium Rayot knife. And again, that's it's another thing about those Chinese knives. I'm sitting here bashing all these Chinese OEM. I'm not bashing them, but I'm just saying how tired I am of just Joe Schmo designs a knife and Rayot makes it. They do incredible work, man. Kaiser, Rayot, they all do awesome work. All right, let's get the pivot into place. T8 for that one. Oh, there's a little collar on that. Didn't notice that. I guess it's like a spacer. Alright, let's see about that. Do we have play? No play. Too tight. No play. Yeah, it just feels tight. Let's try that again. No play. Oh, that's nice. All right, so now that I know we're on the right track, let's go ahead and get, ooh, don't fall out. These screws are really hard to get back in. Let's get this back together. T6. Guys, I hope you're all right with the long haul, because that's what we got in front of us. I may skip that Maximet. Well, no, I'm going to do it. Screw it. I've already got the stuff out. The, you know, the paste. We're here, aren't we? Actually, this needs to turn a little bit. Yeah, I don't want that. Like that. There we go. Okay, let's come at this from an angle. All right. Okay. That's almost counter. Oh my God. That's just not doing what I want. That last screw. And it's the one thing with these Lynch things is that it's like you have to come in from an angle and it doesn't feel good. I don't like that. But they're damn attractive clips. All right, that's nice. I think that's good. Okay. Oh yeah. A hair of side to side. Let's see if we can get that out. Action is way better than it was. Too tight. I would like it to drop. I don't know if it will. Huh. I wonder what's different, because the detent, did I miss something? I don't think I did. The detent is much weaker than it was before. The action's way better though. Could be too much oil. Play. Not really, maybe some flex. Yep, that's coming back. I think it just needs to be worked in a little bit. Yep, alright, so we got that one taken care of. Got all that grit out of there. Much nicer. Improved the action quite a bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, any vertical? Yeah, there's a bit of vertical. That's just the nature of the lock back there. Not much I can do about that. And plus, again, the oil doesn't help with that. But this is one of those things that's like in practice, you know, you're probably not going to notice it a whole lot. Okay, so that's a stretch 2. Let's get that one out of the way. Another reason, though, y'all saw all that fun I had. Another reason why I'm not a fan of the FRN systems, but, you know, whatever. It's still a great design. Design from Sal Glesser, the founder. Yeah, that's a cool design, man. And I much prefer the sloped spine as opposed to the wonk one that you can see every now and then on eBay or something on the older stretches, the older stretch 2s. The G10 one has that kind of funky shape. Let's try tightening that just a hair, just a hair. That's it right there. Yeah, I think that's play free. Okay, cool. All right, let's move on to the next knife. Up next, I want to work on my Strider, which is right here. Let's see how yeah, we're still rolling. Yep, cool. Okay, I don't know how much space I have in the phone, so I'm really just playing a game of Russian roulette here. Let's get all this stuff out of the way. All right, that'll do, pick. Okie dokie. The Strider S&G, which right now is actually operating really nicely. When I picked it up this morning, it felt gunky. It was slow to deploy, which it happens sometimes with this knife. I need to find, I have a, is it that one? I have a bit that comes very close to fitting this, but still doesn't fit it perfectly, but I can still take it apart with it. I think it's this one. Let's see if that'll work. I love this knife, really do. Nope, that's too big. It's too big. Do I still have that bit? All right, I think this one will work. Let's try it. Yeah, this one is feeling pretty good. There we go. Okay, we're on track. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know why they had to make the pivot a hex when everything else is Torx. Okay, I believe these are T8. Let's have a look. In case you've never... Actually, those are T10. All right, I'll take it. In case you've never worked on a ProTech before, an automatic ProTech, they have a coil spring inside that can be not terrible to deal with, but it's something. Let's go ahead and deploy that. It's always just safer to go ahead and do that. The assembly of the coil spring in relation to the... oh Lord, that didn't feel good. Okay, it's fine. In relation to the... what am I trying to say? To the button. The deployment button and its spring is sometimes kind of hairy and not fun to deal with, but we'll get it done. I've worked on this knife several times, so I'm not too concerned about it. I'm going to take these screws out in the order they're coming to. You know, it's funny, I have the opportunity, I still currently have the opportunity to pick up a Strider PT. I don't own any Striders from, Mick Strider. The only Strider knife I own that's got his name on it, that is an official license, is this knife. Anyway, I could get a PT right now. I can kind of afford it. But I don't know, man. It's a PT Persian, and even if it wasn't, I just kind of think I prefer what ProTech does for Strider. Aluminum scales, as you can see here. Yeah, it's kind of dirty in there. We need to clean that thing out. Look at all that gunk. Interesting. That's not gunk, that's Loctite. I used too much Loctite last time. I do have to Loctite this knife though, because the pivot loosens up. Okay, so let me see if I remember. It's been a while since I worked on this bad boy. Yeah, I remember how much of a pain in the butt it is to deal with this button. It's fine. We'll get it done. Oh, there it goes. Did it for us. So there's a spring for the button. Coil spring is right here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that all looks like dried up Loctite. Good grief. What happened here? Let's clean this puppy out. Good gosh. All right, so I'm gonna go clean this stuff off. I will be right back with clean parts, so hold your horses. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Everything's cleaned up now. You can see the original color of the scales. They were originally just black knurled, but I've never been an all black knife guy. I prefer the knives I own to just have something different going on, so I went for the Black Hawk tan. Anyway, guys, I'll explain how to get this all back together. I think that some of this crap that I'm seeing is overspray from the Duracoat. Probably that's what it is, but some of it is just legitimately dirtiness. The blade is much clean. Well, this blade's seen some shit, but it's hanging in. It's been a great knife. I've had this for one of the longest knives that I've owned in my premium part of my collection. Yeah, it was one of the first knives that I was really like, yeah, I'm going to spend some money on this thing. Okay, so let me see if I can recall how to do this. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in there. It pivots on this raised platform here, so I'll put a little drop of oil. A little drop, you know what I mean. I don't want to actually do a whole lot here because I don't want to gum up the coil spring at all. But we will just kind of run some oil around that platform. And then on this side, it's going to kind of, let's have a closer look. Yeah, it's kind of on the surface of both of those platforms. So we'll go ahead and put a little bit. Let's see, do I have any more? Yeah, I've got a bit on this side. Just a bit. Yeah, there we go. Let's let that sit. And then the difficult thing, as I recall, is, yeah, I think I need to take that coil spring out and start it from here in the blade. So you've got this little thin piece here that's got to go inside the blade. There's a little hole. Yep, there it is. And then that's got the long piece has to, no, I'm not showing this well. It has to move back here and line into that slot right there. And then meanwhile, you've got to take care of this button and get it to go in between everything. The shaft of that button's got to go right like here. So it's really frustrating sometimes to get it all dialed in just right. We're going to just play with it until we get it. You know, it's fine. Oh yeah, now I remember how I did this. Okay, so I need something to push that blade, or that spring into that slot. Oh, shoot. Alright, so that's the fun of it. It's alright. We'll get it. We'll get there. Alright, you get here. I have a full video on this knife if anybody's interested. It is Takedown Talk 4, I think. I'm pretty sure it was 4. Oh, lordy. I may need to take that pocket. Yeah, let's take the pocket clip out because it's only one screw. Let's just take the daggum thing out. It'll make things easier for me. T10 on the pocket clip as well. So body screws were T10. The pivot was some kind of hex. I don't know which. Yeah. Cool thing about these ProTech SNGs is that the clips are official Strider clips. Titanium, you know, Strider clamp clips. The PT Pluses and the PTs, I think, all use ProTech's deep carry clips. Nothing wrong there. I mean, ProTech makes awesome clips. But if you wanted the, you know, the Strider clip, I think you need to get an SNG if you want that. Okay, so let's kind of try to guide this in again. Fortunately, the coil spring is staying on its own inside the knife. Let's get that sandwich there. I need something to guide that spring in. Actually, before we do anything, because that button is not sitting right, it needs to be in that, yeah, there we go, in that little thing, that hollow. Okay, let's get that sit there. Where is that? Oh, it's gone under it. Okay, I need something thinner. That ain't gonna work. I need something thin. I'm gonna have to use this with a, yeah, maybe this. And honestly, guys, I don't really care if I scratch up the inside of this knife. I've had it so long that, you know, and besides, it's the inside, so life will go on. Make sure we're still rolling. Yes, we are. All right. Why do you hate me? Okay. Alright, so let's shoulder, yeah, there we go. Let's shoulder that in there. Push everything down. Grab that. Okay, now push everything in. Why aren't you moving? There we go. Knew we could get it. That worked well. I don't have any tips. Just got to get in there and finagle it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get this thing locked up. Get my T10 back on. We will deal with the pocket clip last. My one complaint with these Strider clips is when they get loose so easily, and it's because it's just one screw. And it's like, look, I like the aesthetic, I get it. It's very tool-y, you know, it's very tool-esque. But could you just not put one more screw on there, man? Sticking a little bent piece of metal into a hole is just not the same thing. So, but I do get it. I like the aesthetic too. I think it's a cool aesthetic. did I have, nope, I forgot my Loctite, because of course I did. I'll run out and get Loctite in a minute, because I am going to need Loctite for that pivot. But everything's going together nicely. So yeah, my point being with the Strider is that, or with the ProTech, is that it's not hard to work on. I think a lot of people with autos, they tend to worry about working on them, and also I'm sure it voids your warranty. Let me get some Loctite. But you know, ProTech doesn't want you messing up a knife. You know, they're gonna want you to send it in. But if you're like me and you just don't want to deal with that, don't be too afraid to do it. If you're willing to, you know, if you're willing to sit here and muck around for potentially 2 hours till you finally get it right, and that's how I am. I'll sit here and deal with something as long as I have to. And usually if I can't find a solution, I'll kind of beat a solution into existence, which has its positives and negatives. But yeah, so my point being, don't be afraid to work on these, but just know that, you know, you're getting into it. It is an experience, and potentially you could screw up your knife, but you know, it's the choice we all made, to quote Galadriel.
It is the risk we all took.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
I may have butchered that quote. Thank you. So glad I found this bit. I thought I'd lost it. I was getting a little angry. Let's see how this feels. Is that play? That doesn't feel like play. Oh my. Oh my goodness. That does not feel like play. Oh, that fire's so good. Holy cow, this thing really needed to clean up. Let's tighten it just a bit, just a hair. No play. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I don't feel any play. Okay, let's get the pocket clip in. God, that's nice. This thing needed some love, man. It'd been a minute. Okay, let's get that pocket clip in there. Get our T10 back on. I just want to say thank you again, guys. If y'all are still here, man, thank you so much for just hanging in with me, and just, I really consider this. Typically, when I'm doing something like takedown talk, I'll edit out. You know, I'll speed up the assembly and disassembly processes, but the point of this video is to just kind of talk and ramble and, you know, goof off. And if you're here for that, I really, really do appreciate it. I mean, it means a lot to me, because it's just been brutal. Things have been not cool. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, there's zero play there. Oh my goodness gracious. This thing is lethal, baby. It's coming out so hard, it's got a bit of bounce back, but it's fine. It's locking up. Yeah, man. No vertical play. Yeah, awesome. I'll be carrying this bad boy next couple days for sure. Enjoying this action. Is that pocket clip? I'm very particular about that way that pocket clip sits on that landing pad, which is nice that they put a landing pad in there. Let me try it. And this is the problem, is that it'll, even with it tightened all the way down, it'll move, and you know, obviously I don't want to strip the screw. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, cool. All right, another one bites the dust. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this real fast. Real fast. I don't know why I said it like that. The Escort, wonderful knife. Holy mother of Pete. This knife is awesome. This knife is awesome. Once I figured out that it's a bushing pivot, well, bushing pivot's not the right term, but that's the term I'm going to use. Once I figured that out, I was immediately like, okay, this knife is back up to 100 for me. This thing is so awesome. I do still have a complaint. I don't like the pivot screw. Both pivot screws are so shallow, like so shallow, that honestly, the shallowest I've experienced in a long freaking time. I do not like that, let me tell you right now. Yeah, so this one's already kind of stripped a tiny amount, not enough that it's an issue, but you look at it the wrong way, it's going to strip. All right, let's get a little bit of that on there. I need a paper towel. Here we go. I'm hoping Walsh and I are going to hang out this week, and I'm hoping that we can do a video together because it's been a minute. We've both been busy. We both had vacations kind of roughly around the same time with the families, and just haven't been able to. When we've been hanging out, we've both been so like tired and just kind of worn down. All right, that's one stop right there. That we just haven't felt like shooting. We just wanted to chill, and typically that's because we're going to either be playing Magic the Gathering or Dominion, or just having a drink, and just haven't been wanting to, record anything because we've just been so darn overburdened with stuff. So hopefully this week we'll get a recording in. Not sure what the topic will be. All right, a little bit of play. Let's tighten that down. A hair. Let's try the other side because I didn't tighten that down fully yet. Okay, and how about now? No play. Rock solid. Why do I have vertical play? Because I didn't before. Daggone it. I didn't have vertical play last time. Let's try tightening it a little bit more. It's about done. Dadgummit, I had no vertical play a minute ago. Try loosening that just a bit. Oh boy. There we go. No side to side. Still a bit of vertical, and I don't know why. It's the one issue though with Axis style locks is they're so prone to vertical play, and it drives me nuts. Something's just off a little bit. Okay, well let's check the side to side, and I think it's non-existent. Not a whole lot of vertical right now. Maybe one of those things that I just have to deploy it a few times and it works itself out. God, the action on this thing is so good. Like it's unbelievably good. No vertical at all right now. Okay, that's good. And no side to side. All right, let's just leave it at that. I'll take that as a victory. Okay, last one. I don't know how much we'll be able to do with this thing. This is the Sage 1 in Maximet. I believe this one takes T9, actually, so that's weird. Let's try a T10, because it's like, why would they do T9? How is this one? It should come apart from this side since it's a wire lock. Or two. You're receiving a collect call. Do you want to accept? No, you don't. Collect call from T10 doesn't want to accept it. Okay, so let's try T9. If I even have a T9 in this mess. What's this? T15? No, I don't think so. What is this? T9. Okay, disgusting T9. All right, that'll do. Yep, that fits perfectly. All right. There, I don't remember if the body screws want to come off. I feel like The last time I worked on this thing, they did not want to move. Okay, they're moving. Okay, sweet. Okay, so let's move this up here. No, because we know that's our pivot. Get this bad boy. There we go. And last but not least, I think this Sage one. Oh boy, do you want to move? Yeah. Okay. I think this Sage one in Maximet is a beautiful knife. I really do. Simple, beautiful. Like, it's just a very gorgeous knife to me. All right, come on. Gosh, okay, I got stuck on there. All right, so there's the G10 scale. And this is from Taiwan, this particular model. So fit and finish is quite nice. And typically I find that working on Taiwanese built Spydercos is far cry from working on the Japanese ones, man. Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, come on, baby. Look at that. Man, that's a thing of beauty right there. All right, let me get, oh, this is gonna be good. Once we get done working on this, this is gonna be nice. So let's get all this stuff apart. Don't really need to do a whole lot to the scales. I guess I'll hit them where there's a couple little yucky spots. Or liners, not scales. I meant to say liners. Okay, let's get some more of this. Mix that up a little bit. This paste. A little sip of seltzer here. Aldi seltzer is the best. Shout out to WKRG.com. I'm just kidding. WKRG News 5, Mobile, Alabama, baby. My hometown. Which I don't really recommend visiting, but you know what? It's cool, man. If you're from Mobile, I'm sorry. No, Mobile's cool though. Like, the architecture is really cool. I haven't been in a long time. It's been years actually since been many years since I lived there. But if I'm heading down that way, it's usually to go to the beach or to visit family or something. Anyway, didn't mean to get sidetracked here. So Maximet is awesome stuff, but it will patina. Which, you know, I like patina, but I've noticed on these steels, Maximet and K390, it's not like, you know, the way 1095 patina is where it's really colorful and really interesting. No, it's just big, dull black spots. So, you know, I would prefer it if it was cool and funky, but that's not what we get here. So I find these blades, I'm not even dealing with the K390 because the K390 is too far gone. This one is not. I think this one can be saved. So I'm going to try to get rid of some of those ugly spots. And I think it's working. But yeah, as I was saying, this is an extremely attractive knife to me. It's kind of got that same reason the chaparral, or however that word's pronounced, the same reason that knife is attractive. It's just that beautiful, it's one of the prettiest leaf-shaped blades that I think they make. I like that it doesn't have a huge hump like the PM2 does. It's a much more subdued kind of hump, thumb ramp, I guess I should say. And just that shape, that just simple shape, it's just looks so good. And then this, you know, the Sage 1 pattern, which features the liner lock. So the Sage series, if you don't already know, it's the same blade shape and generally the same handle pattern using different locks. So, you know, basically they're saying, you know, these guys who designed these locks were the sages of, you know, kind of sages of the knife industry. Michael Walker designed the liner lock. The Sage 2, which uses the Reeve integral lock, of course, was designed by Chris Reeve. And the Sage 3, what lock does that use? I don't know, I can't remember. Y'all say so if you know what the Sage 3 uses. Can't remember what the Sage 4 uses. The Sage 5 uses the compression lock. Yeah, I need to educate myself and see what the 3 and 4 use. Surely, I would think one of them would be a back lock, Yeah, gotta look into that. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Get some of this schmutz off here. Oh yeah, this is looking good. Looking good. It's like we cleaned off a lot of those little gunky spots. Sweet. Yeah. Another thing I like too, if you can see it, I don't know how well it's going to show up. They have this really cool finish on the flat. I don't know what it is. It's not really a stone wash exactly. It's something different. It looks really nice though. And then the, well, I shouldn't have said, I get this part, the tang, they have this kind of finish. And then on the blade itself, it's just a vertical satin, and it looks really nice. I really like the contrast of the two finishes. All right, let me get these washers off. And then I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of, actually this one's fine. It's the other side I need to kind of touch up a bit. Let's push the pivot out, which is D-shaped. Put that washer there, and I'll get a little bit on here. And of course, the wonderful thing about this baking soda paste is that as soon as you hit it with water, it just completely dissolves. So, you know, it looks like you're making a mess, but I mean, yeah, you just run it through the tap and it's totally gone. So that's nice, I appreciate that. Yeah, there's some schmutz in here. Man, I quite like this knife. I really do. What did I just lose? Stop pin. Where were you? You had to have been right here. Yeah. Okay. May actually keep that out so I don't lose it in the tap. Okay, everything else is good. All right, I'm gonna go run this stuff under the water. I will be right back. All right, y'all, it's late. We gotta wrap this up, man. It's just complete lack of care. A mess. All right, let's move this stuff out of the way. This is how I do things, though, man. I'm just kind of make a mess and then figure it out later. Okay, this should be easy to go back together. Let's get our stop pin, which is right here. I believe it goes in on this side. Shouldn't make a difference. And our pivot. Actually, kind of need to wipe that pivot down a little bit. There we go. God, man, Taiwanese made Spideys are just a thing of beauty. I really want the stovepipe, but it's just so damn expensive. They had them at Blade Show, and I went to price one, you know, hoping, you know, for a quote-unquote Blade Show price. Yeah, right. It was more expensive than I could get it online, so I was like, well, forget that. I do think that stovepipe was cool as heck, though. I really do. All right, a little bit of oil on there. So are you guys, shout it out if you're still here with me. Are you washer people or bearing people? Let me know. I'm very comfortably in the washer department. I prefer washers. Bearings are great though, and I will say that bearing-based clutch lock action on that Kaiser Escort is nuts. My gosh, it is good. It is good. All right, let's get this on here. Very nice. I'll dab it up a little bit more here. Sorry for the constantly dangling headphone cables. But I love the audio quality of Apple's microphones. I really do. Okay, let's get this on. This is all set. Huh, see some junk on there that didn't quite wipe off. It's just some, I don't know, fingerprints and stuff. I'll hit it again later. Okay, let me clean off this one. God, man, I love, you know, it's like after working on that Japanese Spidey, working on this is just like a dream. And again, this is why I prefer G10 and, you know, G10 and steel construction versus the high impact plastic. Okay, get some oil. Let's see. There we go. Is that seated all the way? No. Oh yeah, let's get a little bit more oil real quick. That should be enough. Ooh, okay, easy. Might have to work this on a little bit, and then also I find too a lot of the time it helps to take pressure off the. Yeah, there we go. Always helps to take pressure off the lock, and then everything just wants to sink right into place. Oh yeah, this was nice. This was nice. Okay, let's get this thing screwed back together. I believe that's my pivot. So, do I still have the T9 in? Nope, it's the junky one, so can't mistake it. There we go. Good. Very nicely. Oh, I did tighten up the pocket clip one as well. Reminder to myself. Alright, here we go. Man, I haven't sat down and just worked on knives like this in so long, and I'm really glad I did this. Because everything kind of worked out. I do want to play with that escort a bit more and just make sure that that vertical play is gone. But other than that, like... that feels tight. Alright, that's probably too tight, but before I keep continuing, let me deal with this guy over here. Typically not a fan of the paper clip style pocket clips, but I mean they do work. They definitely work. They're super functional. They work great. But I do prefer something with a little more, you know, style. But it does work. Okay, so let's get this kind of dialed in here. No play. Still no play? Wow. Over tighten that. Dadgum. Well, let's try loosening it quite a bit here and then just working our way back. Or a little bit of play. Yeah, a little play. Okay, now we're in this weird zone of just a lot of little play. That's almost got it out. I would say that's about got it. Oh, that's nice. Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. This knife centers out, so you want to basically drive it till it centers and then worry about fine tuning. But at the point that it's centered, it should be nice and tight. Which it is. Go up and down. A little bit tighter than I'd like. Actually, let me try loosening it just a bit. Do you sacrifice centering for action? It's weird that it sounds chalky after I just put oil on it. Oh, I need to oil the detent ball path. Let me do that. It's going to drive me nuts. Alright, going back at it. Nice thing about a knife like this, though, this shouldn't take more than a second. Can I have the screw back? Thank you. All right. was that? Oh, that's weird. Okay, I think that was just a fluke. Alright, so let's pop that off. We're going to oil the detent ball path real quick. Although it looks like there's a decent amount of oil on there. Let me just kind of wipe that off. Okay. Put that back on. There we go. Everything is seated. Alright, let's put it back together. Yeah, you know, I'm coming back to something I was talking about a long time ago. I really do feel like the glory days of the online knife world, at least, was like 8 to 10 years ago. I don't know, man. It was just like, oh my gosh, I almost lost that. I don't know, man. I think it's probably just nostalgia, honestly. It's probably all it is. Ooh, that feels good. Did it play? Let's go ahead and actually do it the right way. Well, that's pretty much centered. Ooh, action is very good. Okay, so yeah, the detent ball path needed some oil. Now that is sweet. Oh my gosh. Y'all, come on. Oh, there we go. Oh man, washer-based action like that. Oh, that's dreamy. Now it doesn't want to do it anymore. All right, hang on. There we go. That is dreamy. That's nice. Double check for play. Am I feeling play or is it flex? We'll give it just a hint more. Do y'all get as finicky about this as I do? Sometimes I think it is to my detriment. It's probably not going to drop now. Yeah, it still will. That is sweet. All right. No, that's no play. No play. Awesome. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Well, this was fun, guys. Thank you for joining. And again, appreciate if you hung in for this whole daggum thing. Vertical play's gone on this, so hallelujah. There's a bit there. It's probably just, you know, the nature of these axis locks. Now there's none. Like they have to hit a certain way and no side to side. God, this knife is sweet. Anyway, rich light on this and 154 cm. I didn't mention this earlier. I really like the rich light handle. It is cool. It looks really good. I kind of scratched it up over here, but I don't know. You know, it's like I like my stuff to be used. I don't like to baby it too much, and even then, like some people will consider this babied. No play right now. I gotta not see this thing. It's like I don't need to sit here and worry about vertical play. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for joining. Sorry for the mess. But yeah, some real. I gotta fire this thing again. God, real winners here, guys. Well, let's get them all on the table and then we'll talk about them. Let me check this one again. Oh, that's very nice. Very nice. Much better than it was. No play. And the vertical goosiness seems to be gone. These Spidey lockbacks, they're never going to be like, you know, like a cold steel lockback. Like a well-oiled cold steel lockback can be really sweet. And I find that Spidey lockbacks just never do that. Unless they're Taiwanese made. But still, now that this is operating much nicer than it was a little while ago. So yeah, guys, these are the blades we worked on: the Spyderco Stretch 2 K390 steel, the Protec Strider S&G in 154 cm, Kaiser Escorts in 154 cm as well, and the Spyderco Sage 1 in Maximet. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me and just rolling with me on this much more conversational, you know, just kind of thing. Like I said, I just wanted to sit down and work on some knives and just talk for a bit. And I'd love y'all's opinions in the comments about any of the topics we discussed. Yeah, actually, while I'm on the subject, here I got to do a watch check. Apple Watch, which I've been wearing a lot more lately on my right wrist, is nothing fancy. He's a big fan of doing it that way. It's like a wrist computer. And then my analog watch is a Squall 1521. Currently just on a Maritac NATO. But yeah, I figured it's not relevant. I figured I'd throw it in there for fun. Thank you guys again. Really appreciate it. Yeah, hope you guys are well. And anything that you want to sound off in the comments, please do, because I'm sure y'all have heard enough of me. So see you guys in the next one. Hopefully it'll be me and Walsh together covering a topic, you know, shooting the proverbial shit. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.